Today, we're going to look at those buy, sell, holds, and trades from Week 13 fantasy football, going game by game, matchup by matchup, looking at those heavy hitters, looking at those busts, seeing which players we're going to pick up here for Week 14. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're going deeper than anybody else when it comes to looking at the waiver wire, doing waiver wire content. We even do content on people covering the waiver wire, and we're doing deep dives on all the trending players. And at the end of every week, we help you set those lineups. Click that button. Stop missing out. The first game we're going to look at, and I'm going to preface this, all the good games were on Thursday and Sunday. We did not get many bangers today, but we did start off with this one. This one sucked. This game sucked, and we knew it was going to suck. We almost hit the over. 35.5 over under. My math here. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 33, 34. We're close. Shedeur, 149 and a touchdown. The story here is the Browns coaching staff here. Just playing super conservative, not throwing the ball in the second half, and special teams galore, mistakes. Quinshon Judkins, 91 yards on the ground, though, getting it done there, but no touchdowns, so it doesn't get you enough in fantasy points. Purdy, 168 and a touchdown. Quarterbacks not too far off from each other. Just one had to win the game and one had special team mistakes. Christian McCaffrey gets the score. Outside of that, they kind of held him in check a little bit for his standards. 4 for 21 in the air, 53 yards on the ground. Brian Robinson Jr. got a little bit of work. George Kittle hit the fairway for you, which is great for a tight end. Jennings got the score. Jeudy and Shedeur got into a little bit on the sideline, mainly due to Jeudy being a diva. Harold Fandon got the score on that pretty ball downfield. Outside of that, nothing else happened in this game. It was an ugly one. It was an ugly matchup. 9 points scored by the Niners in the fourth quarter. Going into the fourth quarter, 17-8. 17-8. This was an ugly matchup. Not fun to watch. I had two predictions for this game. Road Dog City or the Titans getting scrappy. It was Road Dog City. 25-3 here. Another boring matchup. Trevor Lawrence, 229, 2 touchdowns. So we got some good movement there. We got low-end Cam Ward, 141 yards, no touchdowns, no picks, 31 passing attempts getting you to 141 yards. Tony Pollard, 60 yards on the ground. Chigakonkwo, 4 for 29 on 5 targets. Tajay Spears, 6 for 25. There's 8 fantasy points, and that's it. That's it, guys. Titans are a wrap. Jakobi Meyers gets a score, 6 for 90. Touchdown. Brenton Strange gets a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr. is back for 3 targets. So we're back to seeing him on the field. We're back to randomly starting him and not getting the results we want. Parker Washington, third in line in targets here when it comes to those wide receivers. Not looking good. Travis Etienne gets a catch here, and then also 28 yards on the ground with a plus game script for him. Another ugly game. Texans, Colts. And I had 2 scenarios for this one as well. One of them being a high-scoring affair considering they both have weapons. And the other one looking kind of like this. 2016, but looking a little bit better because in my head, when I saw this game script, Daniel Jones had a couple picks. He didn't. 201, 2 touchdowns. Still ugly, though. 276 and a pick for C.J. Stroud. 64 yards on the ground for Woody Marks. He came out of this game and came back in. Watch the reports this week. Probably all right, but I'm going to caution you anyways. Collins got a score on the ground. Nick Chubb got a score on the ground. Jonathan Taylor got you 85 yards. He's cooling off a little bit. 3 balls caught, 36 yards, or 6 points there. I mean, you're fine. You're liking it, but he's cooling off a bit. But the Texans here, nasty defense. Getting this win over the Colts here. Nico, 5 for 98, 10 targets. Jayden Higgins, 5 for 65. That's fine for the fairway. Dalton Schultz, 7 for 55. That's good for the tight end spot. And you're looking at this matchup. You got Alec Pierce getting a score, hitting for you. Outside of that, Tyler Warren comes into this game sick. He scores a touchdown, 6, 8. All right for the fairway, all right for the tight end spot. But you're looking at Danny Dimes not getting it done against the Texans. Saints, Dolphins, and we knew this was going to be a strange one. The big look was Devin Neal as he was anointed the starting running back, but shared the workload with Evan Hall. Devin Neal got 14 carries, 47 yards. We said this going in. We did a unique video on him. We did a deep dive saying not so fast. The Dolphins have started to put the clamp down on running backs, and a lot of people are going to promote this matchup for Devin Neal. If you just look at the numbers for the whole season on the Dolphins, you always got to peel the numbers back. This was a matchup that was concerning. Shuck sucks. Saints sucks. Dolphins have been putting a strangle on running backs the latest 3 weeks or so. Weird accent, but we're going to roll with it. No edits. Tua comes up with 157 yards and a pick. Devin H. 134 yards and a touchdown. He's just nasty. Darren Waller's back. Waddle, 3 for 40, 6 targets. Olave gets a touchdown. 4 for 47. There's 8 there, so we're well into the fairway. Vele comes in with the score. That's a good to see. We're starting to get some volume there. We had volume last time, and now we got 8 targets in this game. Juwan Johnson, 5 for 39. So we're close to tight end 1 status for the week, considering what we're seeing from these tight ends, from reading these box scores. All in all, this was another game that you did not want to watch. Jets, Falcons. This one ended up being a fun one, 27-24. I don't remember the over-under. I don't remember what Vegas was trying to tell us with this matchup, but the Jets won. Falcons were the favorite going in this matchup. Kirk Cousins, 234 and a touchdown. Considering the yardage totals I'm going to be reading off, that's actually good for this week. We had a lot of quarterbacks under 200 yards. Going in to late in the fourth quarter, watching Red Zone on the early slate, we had about 10 quarterbacks under 200. So with it finalized, we're probably around 8-ish. And Tyrod Taylor's one of them. 1 touchdown. Breece Hall, 68 yards and a score. A.D. Mitchell comes in big, 102 and a touchdown on 12 targets. John Mechie gets 8 targets in this matchup. We're still watching those wide receivers off the Jets. They're still Jets wide receivers. Mason Taylor has cooled off compared to earlier this season. Kyle Pitts comes in. Everybody leery on starting him, and then once everybody benches him, he'll start scoring. When you start him again, he'll stop scoring. That's just how he's going to work. Bijan, 5 for 51. Nobody else really in the passing game. Sills gets a score, but nobody started him. Bijan, 142 yards on the ground as well. So he scored all the points fantasy-wise in this matchup, him and A.D. Mitchell. But when you're looking at this matchup, at least it was fun to watch. You had some good back and forth there with the Jets in this matchup. Cardinals, Bucks, 2017. 40 pass attempts for Brissett, 301 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. He's just going to get you there in volume. That's just what's going to happen. We're monitoring Marvin Harrison Jr., but 6 for 69. Trey McBride does his thing, 8 for 82 and a touchdown. Mike Carter comes in with 9 fantasy points to the air. And then on top of that, 5 for 17. Moneyballing it there. Bam Knight gets a score as well through the air and 62 yards on the ground. Michael Wilson, 7 targets, but 3 for 36. Bucky Irving takes over the backfield. 17 for 61 and a score. Nothing crazy, but we're back to getting the work. 2 for 20 through the air for him. Chris Godwin's back as well. 3 for 78. On 5 targets, and Mecca Buka's the target leader, but 4 for 42. He has cooled off quite a bit. That's one thing nobody's really saying. He has cooled off quite a bit. Like week in and week out, he has cooled off quite a bit, and Chris Godwin might sneak in some workload. That is something to watch. I don't really want to gamble on it too much, but I think that leads to Baker Mayfield being productive in the future. Baker Mayfield, 194 and a score, coming in this game banged up. So what are you going to expect? 27 yards on the ground. 2017, at least we had a tight matchup here. Rams, Panthers. And I've said this a million times before. I said this in the preseason and even before that. The Carolina Panthers, you see it with the 7-6 record, and you're like, how the hell are they 7-6? after watching some of the doozies they've had this year. They are the legend killers. They are the Randy Ortons. They are the team that just wins these games they shouldn't win. And we said this going into the year. They're just built weird. They're just built different. Honestly, that's what we said going into this. Like, with Ted McMillan there and everything else, Bryce Young is hot and cold. He was hot today, 206 and 3 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, 83 yards. Rico, a lot of you guys started him 58 yards on the ground, 2 balls caught, 28. So he at least hit double digits. No, missed on double digits. And rough outing there. Chuba comes in with the score. Really dekes you out there. Jalen Coker, 4 for 74 and a touchdown. Ted McMillan with the big touchdown there. It was looking dark. It was looking dark with him. They had him covered up. They had him blanketed. And then Kyron Williams comes out for a little bit. Blake Corum, 81 yards in score. Kyron Williams, 72 yards in score. You got to pick up Blake Corum. You got to have him as the stash. Xavier Smith, 3 balls caught, 82 yards on 3 targets. Puka Nacua had a big play. Devonta Adams had 2 scores. You're looking at same old here pretty much with the Rams. Stafford, 3 turnovers, a fumble, 2 picks, 2 touchdowns, 243 yards. We were hoping for big things or a surprise for Max Brosmer. We had high hopes. Like, it wasn't a prediction, it was a hope. It was a hope. Not a prediction, it was a hope. Like, we were hoping he would just take over the offense. No, that definitely didn't happen. He had 4 picks, 126 yards. All the pass catchers here for the Vikings amounted to nothing. All the running backs on the Vikings got hurt. The Vikings got wrecked. So you can only look at Seattle in a wrecked game script, and it still happened. They split up the carries between Charbonnet and Walker, dead nuts. Charbonnet got the touchdown, 56 yards for Kenneth Walker. He's caught 3 balls for 18. So you got like 9 to 10 fantasy points. So you're cool with that. Nothing in the passing game for anybody. This was an ugly game. This killed it. Max Brosmer, so bad, he killed Jackson Smith-Njigba, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson almost, Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones, Kenneth Walker. Like, that's how bad he was. He killed like 7 to 10 players in fantasy. That's how bad that outing was. Bills, Steelers. This was the late slate game that I wanted to watch. And if you notice the trend, the quarterbacks aren't throwing for yards this week. They're not throwing for yards. 117 for Aaron Rodgers, 123 for Josh Allen. And this was an advantageous matchup for yards through the air. They just didn't need to do it. They just didn't need to do it. 144 yards for James Cook, and they just rolled on him. Rolled on him in the second half. The Steelers rolled over. Warren got the score. Kenneth Gainwell didn't do anything. Darnell Washington led this team with 2 catches and 45 yards. DK Metcalf busted again. 3 for 33 for James Cook. Nobody else really did anything. Keon Coleman got the score, but nobody started him. This was another game script that did not go well for fantasy. Like I said on Saturday, like, you needed to put your hopes and prayers on Thursday. I said it Wednesday, actually. Like, Thursday was the time to put in your hope and prayer players. You aren't getting them this week. You aren't getting your random hitters. This is another game where you did not get that. Chargers, Raiders. This one went how I thought it would go. I thought Herbert would land more through the air, but he hurt his hand. 151 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Came out, came back in, and we've seen that with a lot of players this week. We might see some players out next week. 126 yards and a touchdown for Kamani Vidal. Merritt Hampton's coming back. That might be it. He might catch some more work with the Merritt Hampton, but we're probably not seeing 25 carries again for Vidal until Merritt Hampton gets hurt again. 165 yards for Geno Smith and 2 touchdowns. Not surprised. Ashton Genty, 6 balls caught, 30 yards. There's 9 points plus 31 yards on the ground. Kind of money balls you to the fairway. I guess I'll take it. Brock Bowers gets 2 touchdowns here. Outside of that, you don't want anybody else. I was expecting more from these wide receivers on the Chargers. At least we got a touchdown from Ladd McConkey. I had them ranked. McConkey, Johnston, who scored 6, 8, about 11 points. That's fine. But 23 yards. Keenan Allen got 30 yards. Like, this is another game. Like I told you coming in, like you wanted to start all your random players on Thursday, on Thanksgiving. Like, I think we got more fantasy points scored by Packers-Lions than the last 5 games we talked about. Those are the buy, sells, holds, and trades from Week 13 fantasy football as we're rolling into Week 14. Let me know who busted on you. Let me know who blew up in your lineup. Let me know who killed you on the other team in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.